Hello. I just rewatched the video that I posted and I don't know what went wrong. It didn't show any of me and I'm sorry about that. Um, but for the extra credit. So I went all the way down to the bottom and I did the big one. So the area that I think I would be kind of the most comfortable uh is the modern art. Late 1800s to 1930s. That I feel is more me. This era is basically where art stops asking, how do you copy reality? And what do I want to express? And that's me. Like that's me as like who it is. In this one, we've got Pablo Picasso breaking faces into shapes. Uh, Dali, Salvador Dali, dream logic, weird imagery, which I get. That's so me. Um, why it fits me is I can mix aesthetics. Um, breaking, like when I do my cosplays, I mix two or more characters in one. So that is very much for me my chaos is mixing different things. Creative freedom, big time. Um, instead of all the strict rules, which is what we were looking at. Um, I'm weird. I know I'm weird. Um, this period is like there's no correct style. You can combine influences. Personality doesn't equal perfection, which I totally agree with. Um, I feel like living in this era I would be hanging around people's art studios where everybody is experimenting. So true. People debating what even counts as art. I mean, heck, I've cut a couple. I've got these little things. One of them is a mash of Dolly uh, and his dreams, but it's a cat. Um, heck, I've got art from all over. Um, the fashion is looser. I would totally go all out when it comes to uh, clothes. And then cultural shifts, music, film, design is all changing. Um, it's messy, but in a good way. Like, where there's more freedom for every little thing that you do. You don't have to be exact with everything. One is one downside, um, World War One. Like that's a massive downside. We lost so many good artists at the time. Um, artists, it's hard. It's hard to live an artist life, which I get that. I get that. I grew up in it. Um, it's a time for change, not comfort. And comfort is very a lot of people want comfort, and sometimes that doesn't happen. Amazing creativity, crazy unstable lifestyle. Um, yeah, that's a very it's very, very, very true. So, self-expression in this time frame, very, very good. Um, there's tons of political trauma, the World War One and the rapid global change. Social traditional roles are loosening. Women had to go to work. The men were off in war. They had to work. Cultural new music or new movements. You've got film, you had jazz, um, that was starting to become not just stage, not just opera. Like it was starting to become a big deal. Economic, crazy. During this time, we have the Great Depression as well, which didn't help. Um, People had extreme wealth, but then there were extreme poverty at this time. Um, Being religious or religious institutions, they weren't as rigid. People start questioning what they were being taught, reality, the meaning, their truth. It was uncertain, but full of opportunities. Um, I don't know where I would have lived. I don't know if I would have lived in the US. Um, I'm young and independent. I don't think I would be wealthy, truthfully. Um, I would definitely bend social roles. Um, I love people watching, so I'll sit somewhere for hours and watch. I wish I knew how to draw, but I don't. Definitely a student. Definitely a student. Um, I would live in a small apartment. Small apartment, photos around my costumes as well. Um, Personal, but not really. Um, I'd be experimenting out if I was at work or if I did something along that line. Um, Creative, being totally creative. Uh, Definitely an experiment. I don't know uh how it would go, but I would experiment on my own. In society, I would be probably all over the place. Um, I don't think I would have a family. If I did, it would be a cat or some animal of some sort. Um, I would definitely do more cosplay. At the time, there wasn't really a word for it. It started in Japan about this time, so I could go to Japan. I don't know if I would feel uh if they would like me, but um yeah. So, um let's see. Um, so I saw 2 movies about this time frame. Midnight in Paris, very good movie. I love that movie. Um, you're literally dropped in the 1920s, which the whole flapper idea, just I love it. Fashion, such a big one. Not an like I understood the talk of the time. It but it's one of really good one. Um, Figures, historical figures, Ernest Hemingway, uh, Scott Fitzgerald, Picasso, all these modern artists. Um, it's a writer in Paris who travels back to the 1920s. He meets artists and writers at that time, and he realizes every generation romanticized the past. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Um, I could see myself connecting with Gil sometimes. Um, Definitely with him being out of place because he's not from that time zone. But I, I, sorry about that. Um, I don't know where I was. I do think that in the movies, there was a couple of things. The costumes, gorgeous. They were stylish but not overly formal, which is very, say, magnifique. Um, Emotional expression, very true. The values were not really connected to like not traditional, but very much with creativity, which I love. Um, and then personally, I thrive in creative environments. Um, I love seeing stuff like that. And then mixing styles and ideas, culture, everything like that to me is perfect. Um, an amazing, amazing thing. Um, Modern art isn't the safest, truthfully, to live in, but it's not the worst. Um, there are some things that are good with being in the modern art, but again, it's World War I. World War I, I've got my personal, like the Great Depression. There's a lot of negativity kind of everywhere in this time frame. Um, but final thought, and it's an experiment for your own identity. Personal language, not just decoration, is very wonderful. It's kind of like here doing it now or me wearing my ears. Um, that freedom makes everything worth it. It makes it everything worth it. Being modern art, I don't really have anything closer to the 2000s or the 1960s. Um, this goes up to the 1930s. I don't have really anything yet. Um, the one thing I do have is before modern art. Um, Impressionism or post-impressionism. The one that I always really like is we've got, let me see if I can find it. Um, Orsay, who is 197 or 1876. Um, Moulin, basically the dance at the Moulin. Uh, like it's such a beautiful painting. Um, so many people, all the colors, you can definitely see the brush strokes. So it's like Renoir, I'm sorry. Um, it's a beautiful painting. Looking at the modern, which I love, don't get me wrong. Modern can be a little nuts. Don't like love it. Love it, love it, but it's very the the brush strokes of impressionism um show detail and show, well, muddle detail, but you know what's there. But then you've got like Pablo Picasso that is just like straights and not your normal um not your normal painting. And then I don't really think I have anything from the 1960s, but I mean, there are plenty of artists like these. Um, we've got more of the photography that comes up, I feel. Um, like yeah, there's paintings, but I think really photography took over than painting at that time. Um, which is still, it's a great, art is beautiful, whether you like it or not. So, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this rambling. So, thank you. I do want to say it was a pleasure having you as a teacher for this class. Have a great one.